but I'm also noticing a possible sort of bullish angle to this chart.
The alts are looking very interesting over here. Some of them are looking really juicy, I must say.
Yeah, this is an ascending triangle here. Hey guys, Krisha here. Please be cautious of any fake comments and emails you may receive from people pretending to be Mango Research. Sean and I will never, ever contact you for investment opportunities or anything of that sort. To get in touch with the real Mango team, make sure to join our official Discord chat using the link in the description below. Stay safe out there, and remember, do it Mango. And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and this is today's Bitcoin and PancakeSwap analysis video. I have Sean with me today. Sean, say hi.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone, and a happy, boring Bitcoin range day.
That's right, Bitcoin range day. I think that sort of spells it out pretty freaking well, because you know what, Sean, we got a good weekly close yesterday, but we did not see that follow through, not yet at the very least. Now guys, today, of course, on today's agenda, we will be starting off with Bitcoin. Specifically, we closed the 2-day time frame, by the way. Mango likes looking at the 2-day time frame, so we'll be looking at the 2-day, looking at some of those high time frames, and try and sort of dissect what's happening on Bitcoin's ranges, and only then will we be getting on over to PancakeSwap. And why PancakeSwap? Why PancakeSwap? Because Cake won the vote, like it should in any instance, really. I honestly would rather opt for like chocolate cake or something, but okay, Cake it is. PancakeSwap. Sean, the one that came close to winning today was Binance Coin.
Hey, I just this is such a nice comment right over here. Sorry to interrupt. Escher Ronaz says, another day, another vote for Hex. We should really cover Hex.
Yeah.
A few people are interested in that. Another Mango video, another great benefit for us traders in crypto land. Sean and Grisha, you all bring some of the best value in the entire ecosphere. Thank you for all you do. Hey man, thank you so much. That comment really made me smile. And hey, thank you Mark for the regular comments every single day. And YouTube will be there. You are, of course you are. Yeah, this was really good question. Krisha, let's go ahead and actually, you know, just be random and talk about one of these comments over here. And Wolvie had a really good question yesterday in the comment section. He said, essentially, Sean, if the monthly 21 EMA is tested like that, I would think that there's a higher probability that we close the month below the TK. Okay, so essentially what he's saying is that, because Krisha, you and I postulated yesterday that the monthly may actually test the monthly 21 EMA.
Correct.
Right? And he said that if we do that, there's a higher probability that we close underneath the Tenkin and the Kijun. And he's not wrong there, right? If we do come down, right, the further away we go away from the Tenkin to test the monthly 21 EMA, the less chance that we do have a recovery and close above the Tenkin and the Kijun. But less chance does not mean that it is a certainty, right? From the way we'd expect things to happen. Now, here's the thing. It's about whether you're bullish or biased. And we can use that as a bias to get bullish or bearish. So, if the monthly 21 EMA gets tested and we see a pickup and close above the Tenkin and the Kijun, that is enough of a sign for us to have a continued bullish bias on the higher time frames, on the monthly time frames, right? But if instead we actually test the monthly 21 EMA and what Wolvie says actually comes true, that we don't close above the Tenkin and the Kijun, well, that tells us what? That tells us that the bulls did not step in the way we expected them to, and that is bearish, right? So guys, being wrong is not a bad thing, because being wrong sets your bias for your next trade. Always look to be profitable from being wrong. That's what a trader does. A trader is not looking to be right. That's for an analyst. As traders over here, we want to have a thesis, and if our thesis is wrong, we want to be in a position to quickly flip to the other side. So yeah, just wanted to address this this really great question over here. For those of you who are interested, go ahead and just read my answer, a quick answer over here though. Yeah, so with that, Kusha, we can go ahead and get started with the analysis.
Yes, we should be getting started with the analysis. Now remember guys, BNB actually came so close, and I know there are some people that have been so diligent in asking for BNB, Binance Coin, and some other coins, like even Hex for that matter. I think Hex, the hype on Hex is building up. So listen, if you want us to cover your coin in tomorrow's video, take this time, take the opportunity, pause the video if you have to, get down to the comment section and tell us which altcoin you want us to cover. Okay, the popular vote, of course, wins. So if you have to go ahead, share it with your friends, do it so that they can vote too. Now, when you're scrolling back up and, well, you're enjoying Mango's content so far, do not forget to smash those likes because it helps us out tremendously. Okay, Sean, let's get into the charts. So Bitcoin, like I'd mentioned on the weekly time frame, yeah, we saw a decent close, right? We got supported. However, we did not see that follow through. And I'm noticing something with Bitcoin. It appears that, you know, at the beginning of the week, it shows a bit of weakness. Only for the weekend, for, you know, that's when the bulls really step in, only for them to defend.
Yeah.
They come in only to defend until the next week starts and we see this you know, additional weakness.
It's like they're taking the summer off and they want to just relax on the beach throughout the week, and they come in on the weekends, do what they need to do, and then leave for the rest of the week.
Yeah. So I'll be honest with you, what I'm looking for here is well, once again, on the weekly, I want to see the bulls step in. I want to see us defend this green box territory. Bitcoin is still very much in a very, very boring range. I'm also noticing, I want to see how we react off of the last week's low, right? The wick low came in at around 32,700. I think it'll be a half decent picture if we can even defend that, honestly, as far as the wick lows are concerned. But let's go ahead on over to perhaps the 2-day time frame, Sean. What are your thoughts? Right, 2-day time frame. We did close this candle today. Do you have any thoughts on the 2-day time frame?
No, not really. I'm looking pretty much at the weekly for the big move, right? For the breakdown or the breakup. And I'm looking at the daily because there's a range within the daily that I'm playing myself. So I'm not letting myself get too distracted with multiple time frames, because that's a recipe for getting shook out of your position or getting chopped into a bad position. Like, for example, there are great opportunities on the 4-hour trend as well, but I'm not playing it specifically because it will take me away from my particular simple trade strategy at the moment. So I'm trying not to let the time frames overcomplicate things for me. Okay,
but you said you are looking at the daily time frame.
Did the daily, the 4-day, and the weekly.
Okay, so let's get on over to the daily, because there's one thing that I do want to cover on, well, the 4-day as well, which was the rising sort of channel, the rising wedge that we had brought up with you guys, right? So there have been some developments in terms of that pattern play that we can talk about. But before we get onto that, Sean, is there any thing that you're looking at specifically on the daily time frame?
So yeah, essentially we are trading in a very, very tight and narrow range. So when I say narrow, I'm talking about vertically narrow. Essentially, I'm looking at these horizontals over here. You can see that we've come up, tested it, right? And we got rejected yesterday. It also does line up with the dynamic, Krisha, if I can go ahead. Okay. And right over there, we came up, tested the dynamic right over there, closed underneath it. And now we are, well, looking towards testing the middle and perhaps even the bottom of the range if we do get there. So let me just go ahead and clear out everything. And your green zone, I'm going to leave in there. And essentially I'm looking at this top of the range, middle of the range, bottom of the range. Now again, when I talk about tight, guys, in a narrow range rather, I'm talking about this range applies only for this zone over here, right? Now you could also look at this as a potential ascending triangle like structure, which is completely valid because we do have wick higher lows that we have been maintaining until we don't maintain it, right? And if we don't maintain this, if we do start closing even underneath this middle of the range over here, right, there is a mini M-like formation that has trade potential. So you're looking at this high over here and this high right over here. So this is a you can look at this as a high compared to this high, of course, but high, lower high. But if you do break this neckline, you essentially have your M-like formation and follow through, then suddenly you have a lower high and a lower low as well, right? So this uptrend that the bulls are looking at, because you have a high low, high is now going to be broken down to the downside with us having lower lows and lower highs.
Okay.
So that is your invalidation for this ascending like triangle structure that the bulls are looking at breaking towards the upside. So you have both going for you right now for trade opportunities. And what is this lining up with, Krisha? Well, it's lining up with the fact that you could simply play the ranges over here. Break the range towards the upside, you have your ascending triangle playthrough. Break the range towards the downside, the middle of the range, what do you have? Well, you have your breakdown of your M-like formation as well as the breakdown of the invalidation of the ascending triangle. And this would actually have a measured move. We can go ahead and do a conservative measured move by using the candle closest to the M-like formation to pretty much the bottom of the range, somewhere around here. So again, this could see playthrough while still defending the weekly wicks, right? By wicking down somewhere around here, closing above the range, right? So yeah, that's essentially what I'm looking at.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair sort of analysis. It's a fair structure to be looking at as well. But I'll be honest with you, I think that the better plays are going to be, like you had mentioned earlier, on the ranges, right? Because I'm noticing, we're seeing a lot of these patterns, you know, on the daily time frame, on the 4-hour time frame, but very few are seeing that sort of follow through, or even there's no volume on the break. Right now, this was a nice big W-like formation. So
there was no follow through.
There was no follow through. There was no, and the follow through. And I specifically, I was looking for volume because we have been in a downtrend when price actually has to break a bullish pattern to the upside. I usually look for that volume push, which we did not get.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, you could be right on your read on the pattern and still be wrong on the follow through, but your pattern sets the invalidation thesis for you, right?
Correct.
So you're using all of that more to set a bias. So for example, the ranges over here is what we are playing, right? But then within that, we're noticing, hey, there's also something else to add a booster to our bias, because we have a structure over here that fits within that range. And then on top of that, so you can prioritize what's most important to you. Now, at Mango, we like using things that are objective. So what do I mean by objective? Objective is essentially something that I can't really change based on my feelings, right? Like, for example, let's say I'm not liking how the trend line is looking, right? Let's say essentially the trend line was somewhere around like this initially. And then I wake up in the morning and I see this. I'm like, you know, I'm not liking this. Let's go ahead and adjust this a little bit. Yeah, I'm still right on my trade. So that's not me being objective. It's hard to be objective when you're using a trend line that you can change. But when you're using horizontals, you can't really change it. When you're using an indicator, you can't really change it. So that's how I like to prioritize my invalidation. First would be the indicator, right? Especially if I'm new. Then it would be, the second thing would be the horizontals.
Yeah.
And then you can start looking at your structural trend lines.
Yeah, I agree. So right now I feel like this number 2, the horizontal range traders, are the ones being rewarded the most. I think the trades have been pretty freaking neat on this. Now, Sean, let's give them a quick update on that little sort of rising channel that we saw, right? That we have been talking about now for some time. So let's get on over to the 4-hour time frame. I believe we have it drawn out there. Beautiful. Okay, so we did see a break of this rising channel to the downside, right? We can see that break. And the thing is that I'm not seeing the continuation I want to see, and also more importantly, I'm not seeing there was no volume on the break either that came in, even on the lower time frames for that matter. So yes, we did break. However, I want to see a bit more oomph from the bears if they really have to take this down, because remember, what was the measured move of this beautiful pattern, right? We go ahead, plot it on the break. This should have taken us down to the bottom of this range here, coming in at $28,000, right? That was the measured move. Now, of course, I mean, we could see the volume step in, okay, later on. That is also a possible scenario playing out. However, for this to get invalidated, I'm going to give you the flip side of this, all right? For this to get invalidated, I'll be looking for price to essentially get back over 34,385, which also lines up with the top of the green box territory, okay? Because that was the breakdown point. So as soon as we start living back up over that region, I'm saying that this rising channel pattern has now been negated. All right, it's going to be an if this, then that. But once again, ultimately, I think if you're someone playing the ranges, you're likely going to get rewarded way more than just circling in on the pattern plays. Like, use it how Sean uses it. He uses it as a buy booster, as opposed to hinging his trades off of it. And more importantly, make sure to have those invalidation points in place, because that is ultimately what's going to keep you safe. Right? Sean, any follow-up on this pattern before we move on over to Cake?
No, I just am of the opinion that the volume, we do not need to see the follow-through immediately. The volume may come in suddenly, and a lot of times the lack of the volume just ends up being opportunity for people to load up positions before you do see people capitulate out of their positions that are on the other side of this trade. Right, so again, be careful. This may actually see playthrough, and I'd look for invalidation on it not seeing playthrough as well. Be a little bit more cautious, because the trend on the high time frame is still towards the downside, and it again, price coming and visiting the $28,000 region like one more time, it's not out of the question at all.
Yeah.
So if we do break this green zone over here, Krisha, on the 12-hour time frame, for example, I'd be looking for that follow through.
Yeah. We break the green zone, guys. The first target to the downside. So the green zone, let's talk about targets now, okay? The bottom of the green zone comes in at 32,700-ish. Okay, we start living underneath that region. The next region of contention that I personally will be looking at comes in at around 31 to 30K. Okay, so we're looking at the bottom of the range there. As soon as we start breaking that region of support underneath us, that's when I'm saying monthly 21 EMA, here we come. All right, so that is going to be the next major region of contention. So these are the two regions of support that we're looking at underneath us. So that's 30K going all the way down to around 26K, I believe. Monthly 21 EMA. As far as targets to the top are concerned, nothing much has really changed there. We'll first be looking at the top of the range coming in at 35.8K. As soon as we start taking that out, then 40K, here we come. Okay. Mango only starts getting bullish once, or rather tilting bullish, as soon as we take out 47.5K to the upside. All right, keep it simple. Look at the ranges, look at that macro trend, and keep it very, very simple for yourself.
Keep it mango.
Yes, sirree. Sean, any final thoughts before we move on over to Cake?
This is a very, very simple picture for people to follow.
Cool beans. Now, guys, before we get on over to PancakeSwap, remember, if you want us to cover any coin that you are looking at, get down to the comment section. What the hell are you waiting for? Pause the video, go comment, and yeah, when you're scrolling back up and you're enjoying Mango's content so far, do not forget to smash those likes. Come on.
Oh, also, I did post a post on the Mango Research blog yesterday in regards to position sizing and leverage, because I have been getting a lot of questions on that particular topic. How to set your position size if you're using 2x leverage or 5x leverage or 10x leverage, and there's a lot of confusion around that idea or around the concept of using leverage. People are misunderstanding it, and people are putting themselves in a potentially disastrous situation because they misunderstand it. So I'll go ahead and link it down in the comment section if I do remember, or in the description, but you guys can find the link in the Discord in the uploads section. So yeah, go ahead and join us at themangoway.com/discord. Join us and have a great conversation.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is actually, for you guys, I will link the article above. Okay, so just look above and you'll probably find the link there, because it is such an amazing write-up. Sean did an extremely good job, and he is like analogy king. You can ask any of the seedlings, they'll all vouch for that. He's analogy king if you want to get a good understanding of how this all works, position sizing, as well as risk management, how they sort of, play in together. Go and read that article. Okay, it's a very, very friendly read, so it won't be intimidating either. Okay, now Sean, let's get on over to Cake.
Let's do it.
Cake, chocolate cake, or what's your flavor?
Cheesecake.
Ugh.
American style.
Yes, sir. Oof, my goodness, cake. There's a lot of icing on this one. Remove drawings. Okay, let's get on over to the weekly time frame, which is yuck. Okay, let's get on over to the 2-day time frame. Okay, this is half decent, I guess. We can work with this chart. There's not a lot of price history because PancakeSwap is a relatively new coin, right? So we'll be dealing with the 2-day time frame as the highest time frame that we look at. Cool beans. Now we have We have a range of resistance that I'm looking at for PancakeSwap right now, Sean. It comes in here at around $15. Okay, going down to this region right here at around $14.23. But I'm also noticing a possible sort of bullish angle to this chart, which I'm sure you are seeing it too.
The alts are looking very interesting over here. Some of them are looking really juicy, I must say. But be a little bit cautious, guys, nonetheless. But I have to say, some of these alts are looking good.
Yeah, this is an ascending triangle here on the 2-day time frame that I've spotted out. Now, of course, this can break down, so that's why, you know, heed Sean's advice and approach your trades with prudence, have those invalidation points in place, because while this may look like small ranges on this chart, they are not small ranges, okay? If this ascending triangle actually has to break to the downside, and instead of activating a bullish ascending, we activate a bear flag, okay? Like, this can have some massive downside to it. All right, from this region right here to the bottom of the range, that's going to be a good 21% to the downside. That is not a trade that you want to be on the bad side of, right? Sean, are you seeing anything as far as the structure is concerned for CakeSwap?
No, it's just really funny that you marked out this bear flag. I was looking at that, and then my eyes drew on over to this neckline right over here as well. So if we do break this bear flag towards the upside, I do think we make our way back on over to the top of the pole over here, right? So essentially invalidating the bear flag. Also, keep in mind that this was pretty sure on the lower time frames, you could draw this in as a falling channel. That actually, I'll just use your pole over here, right? A falling channel that broke towards the downside, and well, people are probably looking at it like this, I guess, right? A broadening wedge or something.
That's the worst part about diagonals. Like, you will always use it to fit your bias.
So either way, though, it broke down, right? That's what really matters, because it doesn't matter whether it eventually breaks up. Well, you're in a losing position the entire time, which is why you wait for the flag to trigger. You wait for the pattern to trigger before you ever take your trade. So right over here, if we do break this ascending triangle, like Krisha mentioned, towards the upside, or another way to look at it is, if we do break the bear flag towards the upside, invalidating the bear flag, you could look towards the top of the pole, which lines up with this neckline right over here. Of the breakdown, which led to this massive spill on over to $9, high of around $45. So there's a good trade over here. The upside is 50%, the downside that Krisha marked down, bottom of the range is around 25%. So this is where also looking juicy, because the upsides, especially if they return to all-time highs towards the end of the year, and I wouldn't rule that out, guys. And I know I shouldn't be sounding bullish over here, but especially with the macro backdrop, if we do start seeing things reverse, and we do start seeing that Bitcoin $47,000, $50,000 neckline be reclaimed, I'll be looking for altcoins. And you guys don't hear me say this often, but I'll be looking for altcoins to actually outperform Bitcoin regardless of BTCD, because I think this could go down further. Bitcoin dominance could go down further, and we could see a huge rally end of the year, provided those necklines are taken. So those are my thoughts, Krisha.
Okay, so
we could just wrap up with quick targets on the ranges.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's fairly straightforward, right? So we're looking at the ascending triangle. Let's go ahead and look at the measured move of the ascending triangle. So guys, the neckline for the ascending triangle comes in right around here, okay? $14 and around 8 cents. So it's only once we start breaking that to the upside, and once again, I'll be looking for volume personally. The measured move of this ascending triangle takes CakeSwap all the way up to $17.25.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be the first sort of region that I look at. And only then will I look at Sean's top of the range that comes in at around $22.07. Okay, now those are the top targets for PancakeSwap as far as targets to the downside go. If this bear flag triggers instead of the ascending triangle, then I'm saying that the first stop for PancakeSwap comes in at $10.95. If we start breaking that, then back down to these wicks right here. Allow me to mark that out for you. That comes in at $9.42. Okay, but have those invalidation points in place. We mark out these horizontals for you so that you may have invalidation points in place. Okay, as far as the diagonal goes, the break is going to be lining up with $13.34. So we start breaking that to the downside. I'm saying further down we go. It's going to be volatile. This appears to be a volatile chart. But yeah, that's all I have. Sean, any other final thoughts?
Nope. I think you covered it all, Kusha.
Cool beans, guys. With this, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao.
Ciao, guys.